So, for those who've had a strong routine before Ramadan, Ramadan is your time to shine. Ramadan is really here to, as our teachers say, is a time to really test us to see are we being as serious as we think we're being all throughout the year. It's also a time that sometimes Ramadan comes as a test, even to make sure are we really committed to everything that we're saying we're committed to. When I was in Syria studying, one of the beautiful things I would see in Ramadan is that so much attention would turn to the Qur'an. And this was with people who already had a very strong relationship with the Qur'an. They were already reading the Qur'an regularly. Perhaps they were huffaz who had already memorized the Qur'an. But in Ramadan, something amazing happened throughout the entire country. It was just beautiful to witness. Everywhere I would go, even if you were on public transport from one class to another, or if I was even in the supermarket even, it was just to see people holding their mushaf. Sometimes they'd have a little mushaf that they were carrying with them, even on the microbus, which is our form of transportation. And they would just constantly be reading. And if you tried to ask someone something, they were just, they would tell you they were in the middle of reading still, and they didn't want you to interrupt them. Even in the girls that I was living with in the madrasa or the school that I was studying in, it was very hard to have a conversation with anybody because they were so every single moment in between classes. I would see this too. We would finish one class, we'd have a small break before the next class. And instead of just talking with one another or having some chit chat, immediately the Mus'haf came out, the Qur'an, and they were reading in between just those 5 minutes until the next instructor came in for class. And this was everywhere. It was the entire culture. It was the most amazing thing to see the Qur'an in every single moment and crevice of time. There was no leaving the Qur'an, even if a person was in the middle of, vacuuming, cleaning, cooking, the Qur'an was being recited or listened to, one or the other. And to know that you just can fill every single moment and crevice with the Qur'an all day long, except for just the brief hours of sleep, is a different kind of experience. So if you were a person already who's had the strong connection to the Qur'an and routine, then you ask yourself the question, have you really filled in every single gap of every single day with the Qur'an? And if not, that's what this Ramadan should be about, inshallah.